continue up. Is my microphone working now? I don't know if it's not working or if the audio levels just aren't updating, but hello everybody, welcome back. So part 2 of the stream that happened this morning, we're going to try to finish up this egg, which is going to be a little bit difficult, but is the mic working? I think it is working now. So anyway, before I get into it, I got to do my ads again. So this is Gunforged. This is my first commercial release as a full-time indie developer. So if you want to support my work, this is a great way to do it. This is linked in the description below. It's a 2D roguelite shooter. I think it's pretty fun. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. I also have my new Udemy course. I have other Udemy courses as well. Those are all linked below, but this one will teach you how to build a multiplayer game. So if you're interested in that, I go over all of the essential features and functionality you need to know to create multiplayer games in the Godot engine. So again, this is a great way to support me, but also it's a great way to learn about how to make games in Godot. So those things are in the description below, like I said, and let's get right into it. So we are working on the cursed egg now, and we have it printing yo fam when you win. If this would build, oh, I want to get the build, the watcher going too, that'd be cool. But anyway, so we got this cursed egg here, hatches after 1 combat victory, and that will print a yo fam into the console. So now we basically need to make it functional. So that's printing yo fam there. We need to make it functional so that it actually turns into a different card. And then we'll worry about animations and stuff after that. So lots to do. Welcome back, Alien. Hello, pseudonym. Check out my latest work for 5 seconds. I'm not going to do that, pseudonym. Please stop asking. But welcome back to the stream. I like how the stream starting pages actually showcases the gameplay rather than a still screen. Yeah, I think it's a little bit more entertaining than that, so that's good. I'm glad you enjoy it, and welcome to the stream, Gecko Solo. Great to see you again, I believe. It's working okay, yeah, good. Hello, Schlurgy, welcome back. Ito Makes Games, good to see you again. Joke's on you, I poured my own beer, there you go. Oh, it is beer time, isn't it? It is beer time, isn't it? I don't have any beer in my house, unfortunately. But anyway, we're going to continue on. So this post-combat victory here, this needs to change into the card here. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, it's Saturday, so you don't necessarily need to wait for 5 o'clock. 100 proof, or it's just sour grape juice. It's funny, that's actually my favorite kind of drink is the hard liquors. I don't know, am I gonna get demonetized because I've already mentioned liquor on the stream? We'll see. Anyway. Let's see. So yeah, I need to figure out how to transform the card. So the first thing that I need is, I can just transform it into a zombie for now. The problem is I don't have any data at all about the board state or anything. So in my base card, I'm gonna close all this stuff. In my base card here, I've got execution context coming in here. On combat victory, what happens if I create context in here? Let me just go to the context helper actually. Create execution context. Okay. And this is being done where? Turn executor components, card stats equals card stats. I think what I can do here is in this base card, or in the card, let's do this. Execution context. Execution context, so that's going to pass in there. We'll do post-combat victory. We'll pass in the execution context there. And then in my card stats, on combat victory, we're going to do var context is equal to context helper dot create execution context. Context dot card stats is equal to this. And then we can pass in the context here. That will get sent over here to execution context. And then we'll pass in the execution context here as well. Am I going to have enough information to do everything I need to do in here? Okay. Get cardboard owner. You know what I just might create a separate context object, honestly. I think that's going to make the most sense. I don't know. I think I will. Let's do new file, post combat context. Let's do namespace game.data. Well, that's it. Public class post combat context. Public required card stats. Card stats. Get init, public required, board manager, get init. Oh, this is probably not going to work either, is it? Son of a bee. I don't think that's going to work. Well, I could use the context helper. Oh, wait, I can use the context helper. Never mind. Okay. Board manager. I think those are the only two things I need right now. So let's do this. Public static post-combat context. Create post-combat context. I think that's fine. Okay. Create post-combat context. So now my card stats, what I can do is I can do context helper, create post-combat context. This. Okay, I think I'll have everything I need now. You seem like a gin guy, IDKY, but I just feel it. I have been known to enjoy gin, yes, for sure. For sure. I'm not understand how the game works. Where we could see some info, damage, and other things. I will go over how the game works in a little bit once I get the game back to a working state. But, yeah, I don't think the game is runnable right now. Or maybe it is, but yeah. When I'm done with this, I'll give you an overview. Actually, I was thinking about changing my stream starting and my stream paused videos to do a couple of things. One, do the ads that I normally do at the beginning of the stream, and two, show an overview of the game that I'm currently playing. Yeah. I'm 100 for the one. Yeah. So whenever you're making a card and you want the card mesh rather than the sprite to update damage modifiers and such, what would be the most efficient route? Can you expand on what you mean by card mesh, Draugr? Whenever you're making a card and want the card mesh rather than the sprite to update damage modifiers and such. Are you talking about like visual effects on the card itself? Making a 2D scene to handle text calls to update the card, display information, and then UV map reader to import the information from the 2D scene where the card is built. So are you talking about like rendering text on the card itself? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, Draugr. I am picky. I'm a soldier, not a specialist, but scotch is yummiest. Yeah, I do like scotch too. Tequila. Yeah, my good friend, my best friend loves tequila. Talk about rendering text on a card. Well, the way that I do rendering text on the card is I just use control nodes. So the way, I mean, I don't have cards on, or I don't have text on my cards in my game, but my cards are just scenes here, and I just overlay a bunch of things as necessary. And I have a card UI, but what I would do is, yeah, if you want to have text on your card, I would just make it a control node in here if you're using Godot. I don't see why it would need to be more complicated than that, because the control nodes should inherit all the scale and whatnot. So if I add some text here, and I just do yummers, and then I scale this node, that's going to get scaled and skewed with it, right? So whatever visual effects or whatever scaling you want to apply will also apply to the text. Stream crashed. Did it crash? This is the second stream today. I took a little bit of a break after the first stream for today. I went to modifiers directly on the card mesh since I'm working in 3D, and as such, I 100% would need to make a UV map reader to update the faces of the card as I see fit. Well, you could maybe use viewports. So if you render the card and all the text onto a viewport, and then you use the viewport texture as the texture for the mesh, that might work. So essentially what it sounds like you need is you need the entire card to be a single texture, right? And it's in 3D. So I think the way that you could do that is by using a sub viewport. Render all the card content with control nodes and everything in that sub viewport, and then you could use the viewport texture for your card quad or whatever it is. That might be the way that I would approach it, but I don't know a whole lot about 3D, so I would take that with a grain of salt. All right, so post-combat victory here. We have the context now. So var board is equal to context board manager get card board owner of context card stats. Stream works good. Sweet idea, I'll try it out. I swear it's driving me crazy. I'm almost about to just make the card UI completely 2D. Yeah, that might be possible too, but I don't know how it works in 3D. But I would definitely try to leverage the control nodes and the labels if you can, because trying to write text directly to a texture sounds painful. So, anyway. So we got the board here, get cardboard owner. So essentially what I need to do now is I need to, what? One question about unique labels. If I have, say, a node as a root with a script and then unique labels namespace scope, it's just in the child nodes, IDK if that makes sense. Yeah, if you are marking nodes as unique names, if that's what you're calling it, or if that's what you're referring to, then yeah, the unique names are only scoped to that scene. They're not global. So if you mark a random node as unique name in one scene, you're not going to be able to access it with that unique name from another scene. Hello, Andre, welcome. Good afternoon to you as well. So now what we need to do is we need to do board.try .board inventory component .remove try remove card. Why wouldn't this succeed? Oh, yeah. Try remove card context.card stats. First, we need the position of the card. Var card position is equal to board.board inventory component get card top left position context.card stats. We remove the card. Card registry dot from ID card ID dot zombie dot to card instance is owned by player true. Board inventory component dot try plays card at position card new card position. Now we want this to inherit all of the tiering as well. New card dot set tier. Context.cardStats.tier. Okay, I think that's it. So we're probably going to want it to inherit a bunch of the alchemized abilities as well. Well, let's just see if this much works. So what I should see is that egg should transform into a zombie after the first combat, and it should basically just replace the card that exists at the spot, or it should just replace the egg. All right, let's see what happens. Boom, it transformed into a zombie. Look at that. Nice. Okay, so we have the egg, quote-unquote, hatching, which is great. That's exactly what I wanted to know. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm never going to get used to all the var. Oh, yeah. So I think it's basically working. There's a number of considerations that still need to be made. So to do, need to transfer alchemized abilities over to the new card. To do, need to transfer enchantments over to the new card. I think that's fine though. Okay, but I'm going to put a break on this for now. I still want to figure out how to get it to animate as well. So I mean, maybe animation would be kind of out of scope for the current work that I'm doing, but it'd be fun to figure out how to do that at least, but I don't know. Okay. All right. We're getting there. But now we can do something fun. We can make the imp now. Alrighty. Actually, I'm gonna bring back up the cursed egg here. Okay, so the imp. Let's see if we can get an imp looking all right. That's kind of creepy looking. Just trying to get the shape down for now. That's not quite what I want. Let's see. No. It's hard out there for an imp. Imping ain't easy. Okay, all right. Crack me up. I don't like this wing, to be honest. So let's get rid of the wing. Should I make it like a... Oh, you know what I should do? Maybe I won't make it... Maybe I won't make it a flying imp. Maybe it can be like a super like hunchback one that like crawls on its feet. Ooh. That's more like a goblin, I guess, but... That'd be like an... It would be an interesting pose for sure. Ew, this is already disturbing. looks like a fancy shoe. It's not quite what I want. I still think that maybe a wing would look all right, but I just need to... That's not right. Let me think. I think it maybe needs to be more... Any interest in making a 3D game or course eventually? At some point I would like to make a 3D game, but not in the near future. Hello MKRD, welcome back. Genetically enhanced chicken, welcome back. I only know the imps from Dungeon Keeper, always standing around smoking. Oh, interesting, I haven't seen that. Is Godot good with 3D games? Yeah, you can definitely make 3D games with it. Oh. But I don't know a lot about 3D development with Godot, so... Yeah, I don't know if... Don't know if this is gonna work. Let's just leave off the wing for a second. And I'm just going to try working with what I have here. Here comes the cat. Hello, cat. What do you want? I don't know. It's going to be very hard to make teeth. It's going to be very hard to make teeth. Okay. Maybe we'll just put the teeth aside for now. Maybe we'll just put the teeth aside for now. We'll see if we can get this little disturbing creature to work as is. He's thick. That makes him a little bit less thick, I guess. That hand is going to need to be redone a little bit. That's all right. Okay. We're getting there. We are getting there. This doesn't look quite right. Okay. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, goodness. We got a lot of chats to catch up with. Druzel is the best imp ever. I don't know who that is. Yeah. Buckshot Roulette is mating Godot. If you're going to shade it with that darker red, make 2 triangles. Leave 1 clear and the innermost triangle dark, and you've got yourself a folded wing. Okay, interesting. Making 2D games is easier, yeah. 3D games for game jams, yeah, that is very impressive. Just give it tongue. I might do that, yeah. Give it evil eyes. Let's see. The limited color palette may have its challenges, but I think it's really paying off. Yeah, I think so too, Chris. I think so too. I'm glad you feel the same way. Okay. I'm just responding to anything that's... You guys can absolutely keep talking about that 3D stuff in the chat. But I'm just trying to respond to anything that might be directed at me. Oh, it'd be kind of cool to like... I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off, but give it some kind of... ribs, you know? So this is kind of like an imp, but it's more like a demon dog kind of thing with like an imp face, which is totally fine. I'm just trying to see if I can fill in this part here. I don't think that's going to look good, so I'm just going to leave that off. There we go. It looks angrier now. Should I give it tongue? I would like to make it curve up a little bit, but I'm running out of space. I wonder if I could just make the mouth look more open. Oh. I just wish I could put like another hand over here. But I don't think that's going to work. Oh, that actually doesn't look terrible. If I can just get the hand looking a little bit better. I just need this to be like a level above. Can I just take this whole thing and shift it up? That doesn't look terrible. I don't think that looks terrible. No. I think that back leg looks a little bit weird. That's fine, I think. All right, let's catch up on chat here. A chupacabra. It's kind of like a chupacabra. I got some Mickey D's as well. Very nice, Brackheck. How do you feel about using C# with Godot? Is it fun or hectic? I think it's fun. I think it's great. Welcome to the stream, Shadow. What is that icon next to your name? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Please do learn how to use the NLA since you're using Blender. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's not for me. Naming things is the bane of my existence. Seems like a tip from personal experience. Hello, Frank. Great pixel art, man. Nice looking rabbit. A what? It's not a rabbit. But thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. I like the draft you made. It looks really good. All right. You guys are just messing with me now. What do you usually think about published games that are similar to yours? Do you feel inspired or discouraged? Well, I had an idea for a game before I started working on this one. Because I was playing Path of Exile 2, and, you know, Path of Exile has a big skill tree, and I was like, wait a minute. What happens if you made a game that was entirely based around the skill tree? Like, that's literally the only mechanic is you just put points into the skill tree. And I was really excited about that. I even made a prototype about it. And then I kid you not, I was browsing Steam one day, and that exact idea, a game with that exact idea popped up into my discovery queue that was released 3 weeks prior to me finding it. And I was like, oh, well, this is basically the idea that I was trying to do. So now that said, I wouldn't necessarily let that discourage me. It's just that I was excited about that idea because I felt like it was unique and no one had really done it before. So to see a game that did that exact idea was kind of like, oh, okay, so my idea is not unique. And then kind of I lost interest in it because that was the main thing that got me excited is, oh, I could do this thing that no one has really done before. But generally speaking, like, obviously I'm not the first one to make an auto battler, and this game is an auto battler. And so that means that there are going to be games, lots of games that are similar, but that's kind of intentional because I'm trying to fit my game into a specific genre, you know? And so, yeah, I don't really feel bad about it, generally speaking. And the reason is because, like, from a player perspective, it's like when I play a great game, when I'm done playing the game, I never say, great, that was so much fun. I hope there are no other games on Steam that are like this, right? I never say that as a player. What I usually say as a player is, dang, I'm done with this game and I did all the content. I wish there was another game exactly like it with like a different theme and different content, right? And so I don't get too worried about like my idea being too similar to other ideas because as long as I'm offering something different, I think it can still be appealing to players. With the caveat that, you know, there is such a thing as like saturation and like that kind of thinking is not going to work for certain games. Like, I'm going to build a multiplayer battle royale. It's like, well, that's probably not going to work, you know? But as far as single player games go, I really don't know. Like, unless everyone's just absolutely exhausted with a certain genre, I think that you could still be successful even when there's a lot of very similar games. That's my thinking on it anyway. But again, I'm trying to figure this all out the same way you all are, so I wouldn't necessarily rely on that. I like the M, thank you. Give a little white pixels a highlight. I think that would look awesome. Yeah, I'm moving into that for sure. So yeah, we're going to do that for sure. Crow Czar, but welcome back. Or no, I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Welcome to the stream. Can you use Godot to make Android games? You can. Talented, thank you. Oh, wouldn't you apply in a specific way? It would be basically the same. I don't know what that's in reference to Q or Q, but welcome to the stream. Good to see you. That's 100% the right mindset, and even the alchemy part of your game is pretty new to auto battlers. Yeah, I think as long as you have like one or two things that differentiate it, and one of the differentiators could even just be the theme, you know? Because I think the theme makes a huge impact into how people perceive the game. But totally agree, yeah. Take World of Warcraft as an example. When it was at its peak, everyone was always searching for a new MMO instead of just playing WoW. Yeah. You have to wonder how many MMOs would have been more successful just by copying WoW rather than trying to be too different. It's a sunset emoji. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. I meant that the game about the skilled tree is called Talented. You were in detail. Oh. Oops. Oops. Look at me with my big ego just assuming that you're complimenting me. No, yeah, I think you're right. That game was called Talented. I forgot the name of the game, so... But yeah, I was like super stoked about that idea because I was like, dang, no one's done this before. And then, oops. I don't want to go overboard with the white here. What do you want, cat? What do you want? I'm streaming. You're not allowed to talk while I'm streaming. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? I'm gonna keep doing this. If you ask for attention, this is how you're gonna get it. See? Say hi to the stream. Say hi to them. Look at this cat. Oh, You're crazy. Just added the ability to spread fire to other enemies, and that feeling when something finally works is so nice. Yes, I agree, yeah. Honestly, I think that's why I like game development so much, I think, is because it's the instant gratification. Like, I don't really like programming that. Stop! I don't really like programming that much when it's just like endless configurations. Like, one of the things I hate most about like software engineering is doing configuration, whether you're talking about getting your local environment set up or whether you're talking about deploying cloud infrastructure. That stuff is so unbelievably boring and frustrating to me. What I like most about programming is the instant gratification that you get when you make a change and then you like refresh the browser or something and you see that change happen. That's what's the most fun about it to me. And game development is basically just all that, right? Like, all the code you're writing is in service of making something on the screen happen. And so it's really fun when you finally get something working and it just like, you can see the visual representation of that feature working. It just, yeah, it just feels very nice. That back leg is bothering me, but I might just be... Okay. We've got an imp. Now the question is, do I want to try to add... Let me try this, actually. The question now is, do I want to try to add... Sorry, 1 second. Do I want to try to add a wing or no? I think this turned out pretty good, though. Wing or no wing. I might try to add a wing. Let me do this, though. Add imp. Just commit that. Now it's in the cloud. It's in Microsoft's custody, so if they lose my art, I'm suing. Wings are so hard. I need to get better at drawing wings and skulls because I always try to draw these things and it just never looks right. Really good at execution gave me that killer differentiating feature. Yes, that's true. If it's already been done, just be sure to do it better. Yeah, I think that's right. Every solo game developer should do live streams to get instant feedback. It's very helpful as viewers get to also learn how to implement stuff. So yeah. I agree. I don't think streaming can really hurt. I think it can really only help. I have another question. At what point during production do you think you should add content to the game? Well, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask. Again, I try not to give advice about things that I don't really know much about. Like, I have sold a grand total of like 2,500 copies of my games. So it's not I don't really have a good handle on what I'm doing. So like when you should add content or how you should market things, these are questions that I can't really give good advice on. But for me personally, I'm adding content during the prototyping phase because a lot of times I just want to see how a bunch of different ideas work together, a bunch of different content works together. It's hard for me to just like it's hard for me to work with like a bare bones like white box project and then understand the fun of it. It's like it's too abstract when it's white boxed and there's like nothing in it. So I typically actually add content and art and polish relatively early on just so I can get a better idea of like what's all happening and how everything's working together. And I just find that that helps me personally. I don't know if this wing is working. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, I guess, but I'm just not very good at drawing wings, so I think the shape is okay, but I just don't know. I would create an actual like wing structure. I mean, I think it's a good shape, but yeah, I don't know. Cats for the win, yes. Hello, car. Your cat is so memeable. I love it. Yeah, he's a trip. First time being here. Hello, Lucas. Very new at game development. What's this tool you're using to create pixel art? That's Sprite. Thank you, MKRD, for beating me to that. So it looks fine without wings. I think so too. I think a wing would just ruin it. Saturday stream, let's go. Yes, Michael, welcome back. Hello, Eraton. Last time I've been here, you're working on Gunforge. What's this new game about? This new game is a collectible card game grid inventory management auto battler, where the hook is that you can alchemize cards together to gain cards that have combinations of both cards. So you can basically take an ability that's on one card and add it as an ability on another card, and you can create really ridiculous combinations with that. And it's wrapped in a roguelike formula, so it has all the things that you'd expect. It's got you know, like artifacts that change, that give you passive bonuses. You've got a random map every time, random encounters every time. So yeah, and it's got a necromancy, alchemy, and medieval science theme like all wrapped together. He looked fine on the ground area. Flying will be used by some small body creature. Yeah. Hello, Emerson. I'm late. That's all right. 2,500, not 25,000. If I sold 25,000, I'd be very happy, but no. 2,500. That's a cool imp. Thank you. Did you finish the code? I finished the code for the egg. We got to do the imp now. For game development, I really believe that if you do everything separately, it's hard to merge afterwards. You need to see how it works really early. Yeah, I think that's right. That's true for me anyway. Keep the wings for the fairies. All right. Hello. Oh, wait. I already said hello to you. You're not getting another hello, Andre. But let's see. Just curiosity, did you receive a court-approved legal notice from Valve too? Yes, I did. So notice for all developers that sell. Yep, I did. The class action. I have no idea what it is, but the thing about class action lawsuits is if you don't opt out, you're just automatically a party to them. So yeah, I guess I'm in a class action lawsuit against Valve for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That would be I was in a class action lawsuit for a company that I previously worked for too, just recently. And that was pretty fun. If I could, I would send you a quick sketch of the structure of a wing. That's all right, Draugr. I appreciate the help, but I think I'll leave the wing off. I don't think it needs a wing. Hello, Infinity01. Welcome back. I learned a lot from watching your streams. Awesome. Glad to hear that. You have that explanation committed to memory at this point. Yeah, the game elevator pitch, I guess. Oops. Oh, are you saying oops because you beat me too? Yeah, I was just joking about that. Okay, I keep like doodling with this, but I think it's okay. I think it's all right. I don't want to go too far. Oh, you know what I could do instead? I could add like little spikes. Little bone spikes. Except I'm gonna move these up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to slightly modify what I'm doing here. I don't really like that color. Okay, they're probably just gonna have to stay white. They're almost too white, but maybe that's not a problem. How do we feel about the back spikes? Do we like the back spikes or no? Is it too much? Such good vibes in your stream. It's always a pleasure to watch. Awesome. Glad to hear that. I think it's a good vibe too. Color him green. You can call it a goblin and get a new card art for free. Yeah, true. How are you? I'm doing well, Kelso. Thank you. How are you doing? Looks good. People always say pixel art is easy. Yeah, it's easy to draw, but refining the drawing time it's consuming and requires patience. Yeah. And a lot of that is due to just like the fact that an individual pixel can make or break the shape that you're trying to convey. Like, that's the big problem I'm having with the spikes right here. I'm trying to decide, like, is this L shape better, or would something more like this be better? You know, and maybe I could do that. And then that, but then it looks kind of weird, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough problem. I think it looks decent though. Anyway, I think it's probably good enough. I don't think it needs any more attention, really. Although I kind of do want to make this section a little bit darker. Yeah, I think that looks better. Do you need help? So my cat has a chair with a blanket on it that's like just 3 feet away from me over here. And because he doesn't have fur, he likes to be buried under the blanket so he stays warm. Well, he'll just sit on the chair and he'll meow at me until I take the blanket and put it over him. It's just like, it must be nice to have a servant, you know? Goodness. So demanding. It's okay. We do it because we love them, I think. Okay, so there's the imp. I think it's pretty much to the point where I'm getting diminishing returns on my effort here. So we're gonna just go ahead and save that. Imp art done. I'd say pixel art is very deliberate because even a single pixel can change. Yeah, exactly. Yep. How could you be so relaxed, Firebelly, if you know game dev is hard? That's a good question. I mean, I've never been, I guess a lot of it is my experience too. Like, I've never been the kind of person that's just like, oh, this is too hard, I'm never going to get over it. I think that's where a lot of the stress might come from, is like the doubt about whether you're going to solve the issue or whether you're going to get better at something. I don't know, I just never have that. I never have that opinion. I never encounter something hard in like either software engineering or game dev where I'm like, this is impossible to do, I'm not going to come up with a solution. Now, there are some things that I'm like, this is way too hard to pursue, but I don't let that, like, I'll come up with a different solution. So for instance, like in this game, trying to generate random boards that were sensible configurations given all the different card abilities that exist for the enemies was way too hard and I couldn't get it to work. But rather than being like stressed out about that, I just said, well, I'll just come up with a different solution. I'll just hand design the boards and pick out of those designs randomly, you know? So yeah, I just don't let that stuff bother me because there's always a solution. There's always a solution. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting a night of sleep and then you find that, oh, your pixel art is better the next day after you slept for some reason, or you get stuck on a hard problem, you take a break for a couple hours, you come back and you come up with a solution immediately. Or the solution might be to just pivot a little bit and do something slightly different, you know? So it's not terribly stressful when you come at it with that approach. Is funding the game easy, or is it sufficient to provide a complete time to game dev? Funding the game is not easy. Most of my income is coming from the Udemy course. I also have a part-time software engineering consulting job that I'm doing currently, which is helping to sustain my budget as well. But yeah, I would say that making money from games purely is very, very hard. That's still something that I haven't done yet. So trying to change that with this game and then future releases, but it's gonna be a long road still, I think. Ooh, unless this game sells like crazy, but I'm not banking on that being the case. Cats developed opposable thumbs by proxy. Yeah, true. Cats start paying taxes. Yeah. Cats are gods. They just get bored. They got bored over time and decided to make the worshiper their pet for life. Yeah. Thank you, Kelso. Okay, so let me think. So we got to get the imp actually in the game now. Oh, here's the other problem. Oh, shoot. I don't want the imp to exist in the loot table for the cards, so I'm going to need to handle that as well. Okay, so let me write that down. Exclude from booster loot table. Okay, well, we can start working on the imp now, though. I think. Yeah, I think we can. Have you ever thought about running a Kickstarter campaign? No, I never really thought about doing that because I don't know. I figured if I have the means to make the game with the funding that I have, it's just going to be easier all around if I don't have to also manage a Kickstarter campaign. So if I have the funding to make my own game, which I do currently just from my various sources of income, I might as well just make the game and then try to get wishlists and just make all the money at the point of selling the game rather than, you know, coming up with a bunch of Kickstarter bonuses and marketing the Kickstarter campaign and then watching it and making sure I'm getting enough money rolling in and like, yeah, it's just a lot of work. Plus, you know, you also kind of have the obligation to deliver on your promises. So that kind of, in my mind, it kind of makes it harder to dramatically change the game or even cancel the game if the game needs to be canceled. So I don't know. I just prefer, like, right now I have no obligations to anyone right now for this game. I could drop this game tomorrow and it might be sad, but none of you have paid any money for this game. None of you are expecting any bonuses from funding this game. So it's just easier, I think, to do it this way. Next game idea: cats decide to overtake humans and you're the final boss who's emotionally blackmailing him. That is an interesting idea. I think to make money as a dev, you have to be either super lucky, super genius, work at other companies, or make income from something other than games directly, like from courses or YouTube. I think that's like I think as a general rule, that's probably right. Pocket Pixie in coming into defense of dogs. How about we love cats and dogs equally? I'm on board with that. All right. So I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break. And when I come back, we'll implement the imp, which is going to require a couple of things. So yeah, I'll be right back in just 3 minutes and we will continue on. Okay, I'm back. Okay. You stay away from both cats and dogs. It's time for game dev once again, yes. Game development is a hobby, either full-time job plus game dev or your full-time game dev plus part-time job. I'd be interested to see what the case is. Yeah, I mean, I know of several like full-time indies who are working off of their savings, me included. I was running a budget deficit until very recently, but with my part-time job now, that's no longer the case. I'm actually in the green for this month for the first time in like a year, so that's good. But yeah, it's like, you know, you have to be smart about it. I generally don't think it's wise to just like say, I'm going to become an indie developer and like drop your job or whatever. I didn't do that. I was doing independent game development as like a hobby, which you can, I mean, most of my YouTube videos were made at a time when I was fully employed. The only reason I'm doing this now is because I had the opportunity to do it because my job, which was a startup, ran out of funding. And so I was just like, well, I've got plenty of money saved up and I want to try, you know, putting more effort into my YouTube channel, my courses and my games. So I might as well just take this opportunity to do that, you know? And I've actually been doing this now for almost exactly a year. And it's been going pretty good. I definitely want to try to get this game out before I have to get another real job. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I definitely would not recommend quitting your job for it. I've talked about this before. The only reason why I'm comfortable doing this is because I have a very, very comfortable financial safety net. So there is no universe in which I can't pay my mortgage. Like, it's just not possible for me to not be able to pay my mortgage. So, you know, you don't want to be in a situation where you only have X amount of money to your name and you just burn through all of it. You know, I think it's better if you have the means to support yourself if you can't end up making money. But welcome back. Thank you. When you're solo dev, you tend to pull 10 to 12 hour shifts 7 days a week and the rest were 1 or 2 days a month only. That does happen, yeah. Peeps tend to underestimate the complexity of making a world, however small that world may be. It is very complex, yeah. You like that analogy? I knew someone whose spouse got a massive inheritance. They quit their jobs to be indie devs, crashed out in about a year on Uber Eats and dumb gadgets. Yeah, you know, it's not for everyone. Like, if you're, I'm a very financially disciplined person, except for my McDonald's habit. But other than that, yeah, I've got everything in order. So it might be more feasible for you to do something like this if you have good financial responsibility. Man, just jinxed his entire lifestyle. Maybe I did. Real jobs are lame. Stand-ups and customer tickets. It's less than pixel art and fun shader vibe coding, yeah. Some of the stand-ups I'm on, man, it's just like, why are we here? Anyway. All right, enough stalling. We need to make an imp. Art, quick load, imp. Let's make the turn cooldown 6, 2x2. Let's make it 4, actually. I just guess about this stuff. Minion. I have a lot of minion cards. I need more of these other ones. Critical chance. What did the egg critical chance have? I don't remember. Cursed egg. I don't think it should be called a cursed egg anymore. I kind of want to rename this. I almost want to call it like Hell Spawn Egg. Because it's not exactly cursed. You know, it doesn't really fit. We'll call it Hellspawn Egg. Imp fetus. Okay, I think that will be fine. Okay. Oh no, this needs to be imp. Oh, I don't have an imp yet. HIJKLMNOP. It goes right there. Okay, imp. Oops. Imp. And we're just not going to add anything yet. Okay, did I do everything correctly? Let's see. I love your UI animation. Seems like you're not using control nodes for everything. I am using control nodes for everything, but if it doesn't seem like that, it's because, yeah, I'm not, I'm trying to make it look like they're not control nodes. Hatches after 1 combat victory. Hellspawn egg. It's got 666 turns. That's so funny. It's just like, just stupid edgy. I love it. And I lost. Very nice, very nice. Let's get zombie in here. Go zombie. Okay, it changed into a zombie again. What in the heck? Oh, I'm probably not using the card ID in this combat victory transform. Yeah, this needs to be card ID. There's already something in real life called a cursed egg. They call it balut. Oh, yeah. What's the idea for the Hellspawn egg? Yeah, the Hellspawn egg just transforms into the imp that we just created. So the Hellspawn egg doesn't do anything. It hatches after 1 combat victory, which is, I'm going to change that to like 3 or 4 combat victories. But it does have a 25% crit chance and a 2x critical multiplier. So you could alchemize this egg with something before it hatches if you want. You could also enchant the egg if you want, so. And the plan is to make all of those enchantments and alchemy things transfer to the imp when the imp hatches. So, but we'll see what this does real quick. That egg actually looks pretty good. Oh, I did it again. I did it again. Did it hatch into an imp? It did. Look at that. So the imp doesn't do anything. But the hatch worked. I guess opening mini markets and waiting for customer and working on the game. Or home is above the shop, so at night giving a little time for game dev is what life is, if we have inherited land. That is a very romantic idea. Sounds kind of fun. Unfortunately, no one in my family owns a mini mart. How about working night shifts as a security guard and making your game on mobile version of Godot? Yeah, you could definitely do that. I don't know if a night shift security guard would be super fun though. Developing on mobile, how will that work with all the Godots? All of Godot's already small windows. Yeah, I don't know how anyone develops on mobile, honestly. But people do it. People do it. Okay, so that hatch is there. I definitely need some kind of animation for that. I think that's going to be the next thing to figure out. Well, the next thing to figure out is... why isn't this working? Why isn't that working? User experience of a security guard to make a Five Nights at Freddy's clone. That's funny. Does C# have any advantages over GDScript? Mostly just the structural stuff, the static typing and the abstract classes inheritance. Well, not inheritance, I mean interfaces. That kind of stuff. Link, of course, is a good one. NuGet packages are another good one, but it's mostly up to personal preference. What fonts am I using? I'm using Soft Square Mono as well as Grandeur, which I believe are both public domain fonts. Where there's a will, there's a way. Mobile version of Godot definitely satiates my inner child dream of making games on my phone. Well, there you go. There you go. Believe it or not, I grew up in an era where children having smartphones was actually not that common. I mean, I'm making myself sound older than I am, but I remember I was in 8th grade. I think 8th grade was the first time I saw someone with a smartphone, and I was blown away that you could just watch YouTube on your phone. It was unbelievable to me. I was like, wow, that's so cool. That was in 2008. Okay, I keep playing this over and over again because I'm just trying to see if that error is going to happen again. I don't know why that error happened. Why did that error happen? Oh, wait. Huh. I'm trying to make that error happen again. I'm not seeing it. It's unpractical now. Just have fun. That option. Yeah. Why is the error happening? Oh, did I die first? Hold on. Let me try dying. Oops. Oh, I did it wrong again. Oops. Okay. I think there's an issue with my auto resolve click functionality as well, so I'm going to need to fix that. Yeah, where's the auto resolve? I don't know why why that error popped up. That's kind of concerning. Well, do I just chalk it up to... I kind of don't want to ignore that error, but I'm not seeing it again, so... I don't know. Don't get me started on first time I saw commodity tech now, yeah. Back in my days, yeah. Are you planning to release this year? That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. How about making colors a little brighter? Some light 2D nearby cards. Some light 2D nearby cards. Well, I'm not using lights in this game, not traditional lights. My rule is that every pixel that gets rendered to the screen has to be one of the 8 colors that's in the palette. So transparency is out of the question. Modulating colors based on like a light color or light source is out of the question. Rewatch the stream VOD. It fixed itself. You have created life, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if it's not going to turn up again, then whatever. All right, so we need an ability for the... We need an ability for the imp. Any ideas on what the imp should do? I mean, fire is an obvious one, but... Let's get creative with the imp a little bit. Let's give it an interesting ability. I mean, if you have to wait for it to hatch, then it should have some kind of... interesting ability here. So let's think about it a little bit. Palm phones used to blow my mind as a kid. I just couldn't fathom how you could use a pencil on screen. Yeah. Even in limited palette, you can make things cool. Yeah, I agree. Should double the opponent's fire or something. Okay. Is there a lifesteal ability? There is a lifesteal ability. Do you think lifesteal on the imp would be good? Druzel in the books had an ability that I guess he stabbed you with his tail. It couldn't heal unless by a priest. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Lifesteal is an interesting one. I think doing something with fire and life maybe could be interesting. What are all the abilities? Here. Analyze all of my composed abilities. In the composed abilities directory and create a markdown file with the names and brief descriptions of what each ability does. So this will help us understand what abilities already exist in the system. And then we can pull from this, or we can design a new ability too. Come on, Claude. I don't pay you to lag. I don't pay you to lag. Okay. I'll give it a thumbs up. I'm feeling generous today. There's your little thumbs up, Claude. Okay, let's copy this. I'm going to put this in a different directory. I've got docs here. Oh. I already have an abilities doc. Paste. I'll just overwrite that because that's probably useless. Okay. So let's take a gander at the abilities we currently have, and then we can brainstorm what we want to do for the imp. Okay, so we've got simple damage, deals a fixed amount of damage that scales with tier using a multiplier. Inflicts damage on the card itself rather than the target. Well, that's technically incorrect. It does damage on the board. On the board. on the source board. Tag double damage deals base damage that doubles if there's an adjacent minion card on the board. Deals damage scaled by the number of allied cards with a specific tag. Deals damage that increases each time the ability is executed, starting with base damage. What? This is not all my abilities. Wait a minute. Did I not copy everything? I don't think I copied everything. Or was it not finished? Hold on. Copy. Oh, that's not copying everything. Okay. We'll just highlight everything then. There we go. Okay, we've got damage execution growth, deals damage that increases each time the ability is executed. Damage bank deals base damage normally, but every third execution deals accumulated damage from the previous 2 turns. Simple damage reflection deals damage equal to a percentage of damage taken. We've got lifesteal, which is basically self-explanatory. We can apply shielding. We can apply shielding based on other cards on the board. We can apply shielding based on the current health of the player. We can apply shield equal to the number of times fire was applied. We can apply shield based on the damage taken since last execution, doubled if there's an adjacent minion. We've got poison abilities. Basically all the same kind of scaling you'd expect from the above items apply to poison as well. We've got simple heal, we've got projected heal. So we have the concept of projecting abilities too, which may be interesting. So a projected ability is an ability that a card takes and puts on other cards that lasts until the next execution. So this imp could give like project fire damage onto all of the adjacent cards, and then that would actually be kind of cool. Projected fire, that might be cool. We got fire effects. So I think you have a good idea of all the things that are available in the game. We can scale things based on what kind of cards are on the board. We can scale things based on what kind of enemy cards are on the board. We can scale things based on health. We can do fire, we can do poison, we can do paralysis, we can do shielding, we can do damage. So any mixture or confabulation of any of those things, I don't know if that's the right word, but like I'm just reading all these things off so you guys have an idea of what's possible in the game. And any of those things can be mixed and matched together relatively easily. So let's see what suggestions you got. You could avoid attacks by phasing out. Oh, okay. Is anti-heal worth 3 turns? Anti-heal. Prevent the enemy from healing. That's an interesting one. How about Ash? Can you elaborate on Ash? Can you do one video on Obsidian only for game dev? I don't know if there's much to talk about. It's relatively simple. It's just a markdown editor with community plugins, and the Kanban board is very simple. But I mean, it's a good suggestion, but I just don't know if I'd have enough to talk about, really. Mind control enemies. What when he hatched exploded a bit for fire damage? Okay. Well, the hatching only happens after the combat is completed, so the combat is guaranteed to be over when the hatch happens. So it's an interesting idea, but I just don't think it would apply. If it's a hell spawn, I think its ability should be somewhat related to fire. Yeah, probably. An Ash ability with that damage bank function instead of a phoenix hatching from an egg, it's an imp. Okay. Sacrifice for revival, turn into hellspawn egg again. Oh, interesting. Projects fire. Yeah, I think project fire is a good idea. I like the project idea. Imp is 2x2. How easy would it be to project? Well, if you get a 3x3 or a 4, if you get a 4x4 board and the imp projects fire onto everything, you could surround it with 1x1 cards. So that would be actually pretty nasty with the spiderlings. If you get a bunch of spiderlings and you surround the imp with spiderlings and the imp projects fire onto everything, then you could just have all kinds of fire happening. Imps are cowards, so they buff while hiding. Makes sense. Okay, let's do project fire then. I think that sounds good. I appreciate all the suggestions, of course, but you know, this being a dictatorship, at the end of the day, I gotta put my foot down and throw some people in the gulag, you know? Slash make a decision on what the enemy should do. Anyway. It's a neat idea. You like it? Okay. Okay. Actually, give me just 2 seconds really quick. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Do you guys mind if I eat a banana? I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry. Hopefully this is not too disgusting. Maybe I'll turn off my video for a sec. It was a fun stream, but I have to go now. See you all later. All right, thank you for joining, Shadow. Appreciate that. Gulag it is, Mr. Streamer. I hope to see you in a future stream, Shadow. It needs to have a downside too. I think the size is a fair trade-off. Yeah, I think the size is going to be good. Did you just threaten us with dictatorship by agreeing with the overall consensus? Yeah. Having to hatch is a pretty big downside too. There's no manly way to eat a banana. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just like, if I was gonna eat it on video, I would just break off chunks and then do it like that, you know? A McDonald's banana, no. Bungie bungie. I just don't want you guys to see my mouth full of food, that's all. We should support non-McDonald's consumption. Eat it sideways. Oh, goodness. The manliest way to eat a banana is with confidence. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you ever develop on the go, or is it all game dev related to the spot in your house? Well, I'm spoiled. My desk setup is very comfortable, to say the least. So I always feel completely unproductive if I ever try to work anywhere else. I'm sure I could get over that, but I just don't like working on a laptop. I don't like working without two screens. I don't like working without my mouse and keyboard, which granted, I could bring some of that stuff with me, but then anytime I go anywhere that I want to work, I got to bring my laptop, I got to bring my keyboard, I got to bring my mouse, which means I have to disconnect everything, pack it up, go somewhere, plug it all back in. And then of course you have to deal with the battery if you're working on a laptop, so you got to be in proximity to an outlet. It's just a huge hassle. I'd just rather not work and just work only at home. The good news is I don't really go anywhere, so I'm basically here all day. With the skin on. Tell us which Herman Miller chair. I actually don't have a Herman Miller. I have a Hag Capisco. I don't know if you've heard of those ones. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but... And eye contact. Yeah. Hello, Personal Haiti. Welcome to the stream. I'm eating a banana right now. That's why the camera's off. Never understood how people work at cafes. Yeah, I think that's a different kind of vibe coding. I don't want to be too judgmental, but my friend, he's a UX designer. He works with other UX designers, and there's all kinds of like UX designers that just like, they love the lifestyle of being like, oh, I'm a UX designer, I'm gonna go work at a cafe, and then they barely get any work done. No, I'm not trying to like cast a wide net here. I'm just sharing an anecdotal story with you, but There are definitely people like that who exist who are just doing it for the vibes, for the style points, rather than for actual productivity reasons. I'm just trying to be respectful to you guys, jeez. And you're roasting me. Okay. All right, I'm done. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this away really quick. Okay, banana's gone. For some reason I can lock in better at cafe despite having only one screen. I think part of it is feeling people would judge me if I just sat on YouTube all day. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. That was fast. I got skills. Definitely not his first time. Goodness gracious. All right, let's do this fire projection here. So I've got to project heal. Yeah, so let's do new file, project fire. I think I can just copy this and paste it here. Project fire, project fire, simple fire, fire ability. I don't have a way of scaling this. Make additive scalar 2. Do I want to do that? Yeah, that's probably okay. Oh wait, I guess I can keep that as color blue, yeah. Query directions adjacent. Fire ability. I think that's basically it. So now with the imp, we can do new project fire 2. We could also, or 4. We could also give it some, actually let's do 5. We could also give it some damage of its own, just so it's not completely useless, but we'll see how that looks. Imp. Okay, well, let's see what happens. I see people at laptops in cafe. The last thing I care about is what they're doing on their laptops. Yeah. Do you sit at the hag backrest on the front or the back? The back, yeah. I don't really use it front-wise. I don't really use it front-wise. Okay. Zombie, I'm gonna need to get my board size up too. We're still not even done because I need to get the hatching mechanism to work as well. Or I mean the alchemy, whatever. Projects to adjacent cards, 5 fire. Sweet. Okay, so we've got that. Let's go increase the size of my board. Spiderlings. Oh, we're gonna try the spiderling build here, I guess. Make that grow. Guess we'll visit this. Can I purchase anything? I have no money. Okay. Increase board size. Cool, so now I can put the imp in here, and I can put this there, the mausoleum key. Upgrade card. Let's upgrade the imp. So this should go from 5 fire to 7 fire, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 7 fire. Okay, max health increase. I don't have 10. I'm gonna sell this guy. Boom. Now I can upgrade. Very nice. Okay, here we go. So let's see what happens. So that's gonna project. So this has projected fire. Apply 7 fire now. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh, I died. Okay, it's not quite powerful enough, but... Oh no! I lost. I lost. RIP. So, admittedly, it's a little bit hard to test this, but Spiderling's buffed with fire seems good. Yeah, it should be good. My 32 KB dorm internet don't let me develop, so I go to cafe. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense, Mehmet. Is increasing the board size an option for an ability, a card that doubles the board size? It could be an option, yeah. I mean, there's no technical reason, I guess, why it can't be an option. Should we fight the chickens? Only now checking out your streams. This composable ability system seems neat. Sorry for coming in and requesting something, but have you considered doing a video showcasing it? Would love to learn more. Yeah, I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm probably going to do a code review video of my own code to show how all these systems are working together. Am I going to die? Am I going to lose to chickens? Oh my gosh. I can't believe I lost to chickens. Okay, that's not reappearing for some reason. Oops. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Bringo Brongo. Great to have you here. Chicken meta cracked, yeah. Composable abilities are really cool. Yeah, I think it's working pretty well. I'm getting a decent amount of flexibility out of the system, which is great. I've been able to design all kinds of cards with very little issue. Relatively speaking, anyway. We're gonna fight an ox. I don't know if I trust this. I'm gonna try this again, though. Oh, I just got critted hard. Why am I not doing any damage to these things? Oh, I'm only doing fire damage, that's why. Ooh, it's probably a bad choice to go with those. Son of a bee. All right. I'm pretty sure that's working. The only real thing that I'm curious about is that card transformation or transform, combat victory transform. So the alchemized abilities need to be transferred over, and the enchantments need to be transferred over. The other thing is I need to exclude that hatching ability from being alchemizable. Oops, dropped my glasses. So, oh, there's a couple of things I need to do. Dang it, this is gonna be... Okay. new card dot add enchant for each var enchant in base card dot get enchantments. Okay, so that's done. So we're transferring the enchantments over. And then also we need to transfer the alchemized abilities over to the new card. Public virtual bool is alchemizable. True. Public override. No, not partial. Public override. Bool is alchemizable. False. So if I can mark an ability as not being alchemizable, because this victory, this hatch ability, it's an ability, but if I alchemize it with another card, I don't want that hatch ability to go to a different card, because that wouldn't make sense, really. So, I'm gonna need to try. Oh, shoot. This is going to be a mess. So get base composed abilities. Get base composed abilities, new card. Dot. Base card dot. Add composed abilities. Composed ability dot duplicate 4 card stats. Why does that not work? Oh, this needs to be an array. This set tier will have to happen after. Okay. Dot where ability is alchemizable. I think that will work. So I'm trying to take everything that's been alchemized onto the Hellspawn egg and transfer it over to the imp when the imp gets created. I think that will work, but then the other thing is I need to make sure that this, so in my Alchemy system, Alchemy event state machine, this is going to be wrong. This needs to be get base composed abilities. Yeah. I should probably make sure that this is working. Okay. I have to be very careful about how I use these two, because this get all composed abilities, this will include projected abilities, but also include any abilities that are being added as a result of artifacts. But when I'm doing Alchemy, I only want to work with the abilities that are like innate to the card, not the abilities that are being added externally. So I just got to make sure that that's good. And you know what I might do? Dot where x dot is alchemizable. I think that's it. So the way the Alchemy system works is that it's got a number of input cards. It basically just selects all of the abilities from all those input cards. And then there's an algorithm down here that will select, okay, here's the minimum number of abilities to take, and here's the maximum number of abilities to take. And then what it does is it just shuffles that all abilities array here. And then it just takes the first n number of results. It does the same for enchantments and everything. So this is kind of how the Alchemy system works. And then it does the same for critical chance and critical multiplier. How does this work? So it's selecting a list of all the input crit chances. So it's just selecting a random crit chance, and then it's also generating a random crit multiplier between the min and the max. Interesting. It's a little bit weird how the Alchemy system works, but it's mostly just a gameplay consideration about how exactly this works. The most important thing that needs to happen is that card, that hatch ability, can't be put onto other abilities. That's just not going to work. So now what I can do is I can go to my Alchemy event state machine. Oh, I'm already here. Alchemy container. Let's increase the dimensions. And then let's also go to run map generator. Okay. Hello, Define Dottie. I missed the entire stream. Are we still coding? No, this is my second stream that I've done today. The first stream was almost 4 hours long this morning. I think the imp should have some damage by itself as well. I can do that. Animations are looking sick. Tweens are the king. Yes, indeed. Imagine the zombie hatching into zombie imp. Yeah, that'd be funny. What kinds of benefits have you found doing this in C# rather than GD script other than just performance? The structure, really. It's just the abstract classes, interfaces, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so let's alchemize some things together. Are there card rarities? Will you do legendary cards that are super strong and build defining? I haven't decided on that yet. There are card tiers, so cards can be upgraded and they can also drop at a higher level. So that's kind of a rarity system. So like you could get a zombie that generates or drops at tier 3, which means you don't need to upgrade it because it's already... I mean, you can continue to upgrade it if you want, but typically to upgrade a card, you need to visit the upgrade nodes. But the cards can drop upgraded from like the booster packs and stuff. So that's one thing. But in terms of making cards that are like really rare, or, you know, there could be like a legendary card event on the map. I'm open to doing that. I haven't decided on that yet. I love links so much. I wish GDScript had similar querying functionality on arrays. Yeah. I wonder if somebody's made a library for that to like create a bunch of, I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure somebody has made a bunch of helpful utilities and whatnot. So here I'm going to input these 3 cards, and I should not see this hatches arrive or go onto anything. So here, this one, oh, it lost the hatch. Oops. I mean, I guess that's fine, right? It doesn't need to maintain the hatch, I suppose. The important thing is that the hatch just doesn't end up on anything else. Although, no, wait, that's not fine, because if this can no longer hatch, then that means that that code that I wrote for transferring... Oh, also, it still has 666 turns. So yeah, this is going to be useless if you end up taking this. So this one needs to preserve the hatch. So I need to add... I need to add some logic to my alchemy that will guarantee that the non-alchemizable abilities stay on the card, I think. Yeah. Because if this can't hatch anymore after alchemizing it, then it's just useless, because there's no way you're going to be able to wait for 666 turns. And even if you could wait, this is very underwhelming based on the length of that wait. So this needs to maintain the hatch ability, but nothing else should have the hatch. I think rare cards, artifacts that are either really strong, are a part of what makes roguelikes so cool for me. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I definitely want there to be like rarer. I mean, part of the rarity is going to come into based on how you alchemize your cards, right? Because some runs you're going to be able to create like monstrous cards with the alchemy system, and then some runs it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle. But yeah, definitely having more options for how the player can get really strong, I think can only help. There was one for Godot 3 called G-Link, I think. Don't know of any updated ones. Gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to tell the AI to do this because I don't have the brain power for this right now. So I'm just going to stage what I've got here real quick. Okay, here. Let's tell the AI to do what I need it to do. For any non-alchemizable abilities, is alchemizable equals false. Make sure that these non-alchemizable abilities remain after creating the new card, only if the new card being created in the for loop has the same ID as the card that has the non-alchemizable ability. I don't know if it's going to understand me, but let's see. Come on, Claude, do your work. Yes, indeed. Okay, what did you do? Cards, so that's the input cards, where base card definition card resource ID equals random card ID, okay. Select many, get base composed abilities where not is alchemizable. Select duplicate, it's duplicating it into list. Okay, I think that's working. So that makes sense. So yeah, it's essentially just every time it generates a new card, it's iterating over the input cards, finding if this random card ID that was chosen is the same as the card in the list. That's not going to work though. Because if I input 2 eggs, this is going to select 2 hatch abilities, right? This doesn't quite work. If I have 2 input cards with non-alchemizable abilities and the same ID, the output will create additional non-alchemizable abilities on the output. Well, contain. This is why you gotta watch what the AI is doing. They try to pull a fast one over you. Now, is this gonna work? Group by x.getType. Okay, I think that will work now. Added deduplication logic. Added group by to group abilities by their type, ensuring that each unique ability type appears only once. Select group. Duplicate to take only the first occurrence of each ability type. I think that will be okay. There's still a problem here, which is that if I for some reason had 2 non-alchemizable abilities that were both the same thing on the same card, that would basically get erased as a result of the alchemy, but I don't think that's realistically going to happen, so we don't need to make it like super, we don't need to handle all the super edge cases, I don't think. Okay, let's see if that works. AI made vibe coding so much easier. Yup. Okay, I guess we'll go here first. Alchemy. Oh, it already hatched. Son of a bee. I need to change that too. Let's do 4 required victories. Hatches after 4 combat victories. It should probably say how many remaining. Maybe I can change that really quick too. Required victories minus. Yeah. I think I can do that. We'll just add a little bit of a helper there. 4 victories remaining. Okay. So now I can just try this. All right, let's go to alchemy first. So let's put this here, put the key there, put the skeleton there. Boom. Hopefully we get an egg output. There we go. This hatches after 4 combat victories. Very nice. So this should all be inherited when it hatches. I'm going to visit and enchant as well. We're just going to make sure it all works at once. So let's enchant this now. Increases critical multiplier by 0.5x. Turn cooldown is reduced by 1. So this could be 665 turns, but when it gets to be an imp, that's going to be good. Okay, let's beat these guys. How much does this have? 1 victory remaining. That doesn't sound right. Did I fight 4 things? Oh, I lost. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think the logic might be wrong anyway. Let's try it again. Honestly, that's the best way to use AI, to see what it's a solution and then try to understand how it works and then iterate on it. Yeah, I think so. Are you making a game? Huh, you're a pro. I am. I guess I am a pro. I don't know. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do this alchemy again. Got 2 eggs this time. Okay. Four victories remaining. There should be 3 victories remaining now. Negative 3 victories remaining. Huh? Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, that's right. Why is that negative? What?
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Guess we're gonna have to do this. Required victories is what? 4? Why am I not allowed to highlight this? Thank you. Why is that 7? Why is that 7? There's something weird going on here. Wow, I don't know. Is it a local database for cards and attributes? I saw a query with group by in the code. No, I'm not using a database. I am, all of my cards are defined as custom resources, and then I'm also using link where applicable to do a sort of querying. So not really a database, but similar in terms of how I'm fetching data and manipulating the data and all that stuff. I have to figure out why the heck this is not working. Oh, it's gonna be a long process. Let's see. You're watching the egg get beat up, yeah. Yeah, for an effer. Yeah, when it says you're absolutely right, it is pretty enraging. It's like, what do you mean I'm absolutely right? Did I disable that breakpoint? I did. Zero. Okay. Oh, now we got some. Now we have some issues. Post-combat victory. Why is that being called? Something is weird here. Hold on. I don't know what's happening. I think it broke when you did the alchemy. Maybe. Still zero. Why is this null? Context. Get cardboard owner. What card is this? Spawn egg. This card node is null. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Oh. Wait a minute.
Discovery's core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
I might have an issue with my card stats. I think what's happening... Oh, you know what? I think my card stats is wrong here. Pre-queued? Oh. I think what I'm doing here is actually not correct. So that card stats object extends ref counted. close this. But this card stats object needs to be able to be freed. Now the problem is that I have a queue free method in here, which is not a Godot method. That's something that I added. Because this card stats object manages, it manages the actual card node. This is responsible for removing the card, setting the card stats and all queue freeing. But the problem is that it's also not disconnecting from any of these signals here. So I think what's happening is because this card stats object is connected to this game events signal, the card stats reference, this object is hanging around in memory and continuing to listen for those events. So it's actually still hooked into a lot of the lifecycle events here. Now there's a couple of ways I could fix this. The easy way is just to try to do this. Let me just make sure that this is safe to do. I think the easy way to do this is to just free the card in here, free this resource. I think that's what I need to do. Now that could have ramifications for the system by and large, but that may also explain why the count was wrong because... No, that doesn't really explain why the count was wrong. I don't know, but that should fix... Let's see if this works. And I got some errors. Non-existent function free. What? Can I not free a ref counted? Unreference? I guess I can't free a ref counted object. Well, that leads me to the other thing that I want to do. That I'm going to do. So the other option now that I have is to disconnect from those signals. Is that going to work? I think that should work. Can I do this easily? I wish there was a way to disconnect all signals in Godot. I don't think there is. Okay. Private, callable, combat ended, callable. Now in this queue free here, we'll disconnect all those. Okay. I don't know if that's going to work, but let's see. I know I'm right. Post-combat is called for every node, even when there's no combat. For every card, well, it only triggers after combat, so. Okay, no errors there. I hope this works. I'm gonna lose my mind if it doesn't. We'll go to the Alchemy here. Okay. One victory is remaining. That doesn't make any sense. Why is that 3? I don't understand. Let's disconnect. I don't know why that value is changing like that, but it might be related to the Alchemy. So I need to remove from the tree before freeing. Well, it's a resource, it's a ref counted, it can't even be in the tree. Yes, the signal disconnections, not when you remove it from the tree, because signal connections are not tree operations, they're operations on the Godot object itself, which is why you can handle and emit signals to and from resources. So signals are not related to the scene tree at all, really. Nodes emit signals very frequently, but anything that's a Godot object can emit and handle signals. The signals get automatically disconnected when the object is freed. However, because I'm using ref counted, I can't manually call free on it, because ref counted is managed by Godot and will be freed by Godot when the reference count hits 0. So when I make my own free method, I need to manually disconnect those signals, which will hopefully get the reference count to 0, and then Godot will automatically free it. But I actually haven't tested that yet, so that could be not working. Anyway, upgrade the zombie. Debugging, the fun game where you are the detective and the murderer. Yes. That zombie does a lot of damage, jeepers. Okay. Here we go to the egg again. Boom, boom. Okay, I think, do I have a breakpoint there? Yes, so let's see. Zero, okay. Still 0. Looks like it's outputting 2 eggs. I believe this is okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is all good so far. So I'm going to take this one, put it in my inventory. Let's go fight a combat and win. I've got a breakpoint on the post-combat victory there, so we're going to see where that's all coming from. Okay. So my context here, card stats, base card, card definition resource, hellspawn egg. Uh-huh. Combat victories is equal to 1. And it's going again. Okay, so this is being called multiple times. What's the stack trace on this? Oh, it's still being handled in this on card stats. Or on combat victory in the card stats here. Why is that still happening? Set alchemy output cards. I think the problem may be here. Let me see. Did that trigger 3 times or 2 times? I think I have a problem with my system here. Let me think. Okay, I'm gonna change how I'm doing this because I think the problem fundamentally is that these ref counted objects that I'm using for the card stats, they're creating those signal connections, like I said. They're creating those signal connections to the game events like Global Bus here. The problem is that if I don't very explicitly free the card, which will trigger the disconnection of these signals. Number one, this card stats object is going to stay in memory forever, but number two, it's going to continue to respond to these signal emissions, right? Now, I don't know exactly why this is a problem. I mean, it's going to be a problem because this thing is just hanging around in memory and still functioning. What I don't quite understand is why it's changing the victory provider value. I think the victory provider in here is somehow being shared by reference, although I don't think that that should be happening. I don't know why that's happening in here, but maybe I'll put a breakpoint. So what I'm not understanding is why that value is wrong to begin with, because I don't think that the issue that I discovered here is the reason why that number is not correct. But I could be wrong. So if I do abilities of type this, I get this. Yeah, so there's just one combat victory listener in here. This is happening again for another object. It's happening a third time. I really don't know why that's happening. The reason I don't know, I mean, unless the Alchemy event. Let's see. See, the problem is that when I alchemize things, it's duplicating all of the abilities, which means that it's going to be creating a new reference. So in here, in this combat victory transform here, let's just stop all this. When I call duplicate, it's calling this duplicate internal here. That's creating a new instance of the combat victory transform with all of the same arguments. And that's creating a new combat victory provider in here. So they're not, these victory providers are not being shared by reference across multiple of the eggs. So that's not what's happening. I don't see how that could possibly be happening because they're not, the ability itself is not being duplicated. Or I mean shared, I mean. See, it's duplicating all those. It's also duplicating here and it's duplicating there. This card stats object is a new card stats object. It's creating a new base card instance. So everything that's happening in Alchemy is creating brand new instances of everything. So I don't know what's going on there. I think I'll be going. Fun stream, had a great time. Thank you, MKRD. It was great having you. I'm a new game maker on Godot, and can you send me a few sources where I can learn GD script? Yeah, GD Quest is a good one. Brackeys is a good one. So those were the two I would recommend for you. I remember reading that it's good practice to remove from tree before freeing due to signal connection garbage, but yes, what you say makes sense. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but if it works, it works. I have never found a need to remove things from, well, not never, but usually I don't need to remove things from the tree before I queue free them, but are we near in completion phase for the project? No, we're not. For the Steam upload, no. Not close. Alchemy copies the abilities. Does that deep copy the objects? It does, yeah. Caffeine can easily solve this. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So I think what I want, I mean, I wish I could figure out why that's even happening in the first place, because it's kind of bothering me that I don't know why that issue is happening. It's not emitting the combat victory multiple times. Is it? I mean, I kind of don't want to test this again, but probably should. Good nights of sleep of can or a shower, yeah. I'm getting to the point where I might just have to shelve this for a second. But I want to try it. I just want to see if I can understand. I just want to understand why the issue is happening. I think I have a fix in mind for what I want to do, but okay, so that only happened once. That makes sense. Now if I go to Alchemy, Look at all those input cards. Okay, so that's being duplicated at least once. 3 victories remaining. Put this here. Chant card. Okay, go to the Ox here. Okay, emit combat victory. That's happening only once, I think. This ability... Let's see, this context, card stats, card node. This card node doesn't exist. So that signal connection issue is definitely a problem. Now this one... I think the card inspector might be the problem here. Or maybe not. Oh, maybe it is. I think I figured it out. Okay. This is a tricky one. So when I pull up that card inspection, it's duplicating the card stats object, but the problem is that it's using the same base card reference. So that is how the values, so that victory provider, that victory count provider is being shared by reference, but what's happening, okay, this is a very tangled issue. So what's happening is when I inspect a card, it creates a new card stats object, a duplicate of the card stats object, but it passes in the same base card reference. So now I have 2 card stats objects that are referring to the same thing. Now, why do I need to duplicate that? I have no idea. Oh, yeah, I know why. So we won't get into that, but that needs to be duplicated. However, when a card stats object is created, it's connecting to various game events. And those game events are going to continue to be handled by this card stats even after that card inspector gets dismissed. So this card inspector gets dismissed here. And it doesn't do anything with the card stats object that it's creating, so it's not even trying to free that. I think the real problem here is that... So there's a couple of problems. One, this here, this duplicate is not doing a deep copy in the card inspector here. So that's why I'm creating essentially I'm creating multiple card stats object that all have the same base card underneath. And that's why when the combat victory ends, the same combat victory provider is being incremented multiple times. So that answers that question. I think the solution here would be to well, there's a number of solutions here. The one easy, or not easy, but one solution is just to add proper deep duplication of the base card here, of the card stats object. I don't know if I want to do that though. I think there's probably a better way of handling it. The reason it needs to be duplicated for the card inspector is because the card inspector then needs to create a visual representation of that card stats object with the card node. So that's going to be a little bit tricky to manage. But I think the core of the issue here really is that I need to what? I need to... I basically need to get all the signal connections out of the card stats object. The card stats object shouldn't really be hooking into game state things. the game state should be calling things on the card stats itself. So anywhere where I'm connecting to a signal, which I think is just here, this needs to be moved out of this class. Now, fortunately, I have a card manager or board manager. So I'm just going to have to move these gameplay events into a manager that sits above the card stats object. So let me write all this down. So card inspector creates a duplicate card stats object that does not deep duplicate base card. Delete. Card stats objects connect to global game signals and are thus never freed from memory and can continue responding to game events. Okay. So I'm gonna have to fix all those things. Yeah, damn is right. So this is the problem with ref counted. Now, I don't know if there's a way around it. I would prefer to keep everything as a node, but the problem is that, I mean, this almost would be easier if I changed my card stats object to just be a node. I might do that. Would there be any downside to doing that? I definitely need just like a pure logical representation of a card because that's how I mean, do I need this? Let me think. What if there's an easier way? Let me think. So the problem is this base card object here, it's not, oh, it does inherit ref counted. I almost wonder if I should rework this card stats object, but I don't know. Do I need to rework it? Yeah, these ref counteds are weird. I'm gonna need to think about this a little bit more. Ideally, my base card wouldn't be a ref counted. I don't know. Probably not going to solve this right now, but I think the major issues are these signals here. I mean, this card stats is kind of like a layer on top of the raw card logic, which contains other data. Like, is alchemized, is owned by player, turn cooldown is remaining, turn cooldown consumed, showing alternate art stuff. So I think there's some stuff in here that needs to be here, but I'm just wondering, the real reason why this card stats object is here is because it serves as the glue between the visual representation of the node and the logical representation of the card. So the card logic is not stored on the card node. It's stored in that base card. And this card stats, the main thing this card stats is doing is it's just connecting, those visuals together. I'm gonna have to think about this. I'm going to have to think about this, but yeah, that'll have to be a project for another day, I think. Did I do anything productive? Alchemy container. We don't want to commit that either. That was just for testing purposes. Base card. Oh, wow. I'm working on a game with sigils, and I made emission text, so the letters have particle material that changes based on their sprite already. It works, but changes the particle mat for every object. Oh, interesting. That shouldn't be a problem necessarily. Are you noticing any issues with it? Oh, while I'm still online. Yeah, well, I took a break in the afternoon, but this stream has been going for 3 hours now. I think I did almost 7 hours of streaming today. Is that true? I wonder if that's true. Okay. Work on imp, but severe bugs remain. So I might think of a different strategy for this card stats object. I may end up changing it. Or it may end up being okay. I think what I probably want to do is like, is there a notification? Can I do... if what equals notification pre-delete, gd.print deleting card stats for card, base card definition resource ID. I wonder if I can actually see that being printed anywhere. So I would just need to track that these things are being freed correctly. Ask myself the same. Network linebacker, welcome. So if I do that, does that ever free anything? This may not even be working. I'm just gonna try some things. Yeah, I may want a different way of doing this. I don't even know if notification pre-delete works the way that I think it's going to. Oops. Notification received when the object is about to be deleted. Is there a ref counted? Let me look at ref counted. I would really like to see those objects being freed. I'm gonna do a little test here. I just want to see. I don't really care. We're gonna call this test ref.cs public class test ref counted public partial class public override void notification if int or if what notification pre-delete gd.print deleted. And if I go to my run manager now, what happens if I do this? I don't know if the compiler is going to strip this because it recognizes that it's not a thing, but I'm just going to do new test ref there. Var test equals new test ref, gd.print test ref test. Okay. I wonder if I will see a delete, or if Godot, I don't know how the Godot ref counted collection works. So it's not deleting that reference. So maybe ref counted doesn't work the way that I think it's going to. Ref counted, unless it's not emitting a signal free. Let's read the documentation. Why not? Shurima, what do you want? Why are you being noisy? What? Should I pay attention to you? Okay, soon. Base class for any object that keeps a reference count. Ref count is keep an internal reference counter so they are automatically released when no longer in use. They do not need to be freed manually. Ref counted instances caught in a cyclic reference will not be freed automatically. I know that. The methods provided in C# reference counted objects will not be freed instantly after they are no longer in use. Instead, garbage collection will run periodically and will free reference counted objects that are no longer in use. They will remain in memory for a while. Okay, well I am using C#, so can I do... Run C# garbage collection here. The issue is that when the phrase complete, all the letters have the same particle emission text, so it looks weird. I use .duplicate to duplicate material, but I imagine this a better way to handle. No, I think that, I mean, that's how Godot handles it. If you have to have the same material on a bunch of scenes, but they need to have slightly different properties. Godot, if you check the resource local to scene option, Godot duplicates the material under the hood. So I think duplicating the material is the way that you're supposed to do it. I don't see how you would do it otherwise. What? It just doesn't want to garbage collect those. What in the heck? Is there a way I can print? I have no clue how this is working. Now I'm worried that the ref counteds are not being freed at all for some reason. It's got a reference count of 1. I can't print it in the future though because that would require me holding on a reference to it. Well, I guess we'll just... Oh, it's here. My cat is being ridiculous. Am I ever gonna see that get garbage collected or... Oh no. Guess not. Well, this is Adventures of Godot and C#, I guess. Unless that notification pre-delete may just never be fired either. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Does a doc make any note of this? When and how to avoid using nodes for everything? I don't know what's going on. I wonder if there's... Hold on. I'm going to check the Godot issues. Well, I'm on the Godot issues. I don't see anything related to C# and ref counted, so... I don't know, maybe the garbage collector just hasn't run, or this print statement isn't working. Test ref. Do I need to do... I shouldn't need to do base dot notification. That's not going to do anything. But maybe I can do something different, like maybe gd.print just isn't working for some reason. Throw system.exception. Yo, does that not work? Throw new system exception. I don't know. Let's see. How's the stream, Firebelly? You're always cool. Thank you. It's going all right. I mean, I'm stuck on a big nasty bug, but we'll get through it. Is that just... It's just never being freed, or at least maybe the memory isn't getting to the point where C# feels the need to free it, so... I checked local to see it work the same way, but the code is a little bit cleaner. Didn't even know the option was a thing. Thanks. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I should have realized that that was the setting that you're looking for. But yeah, I'm glad that my little comment helped for sure. Okay, we're gonna go nuclear on this. For each var, well no. For int I equals 0. I is less than 10,000. I plus plus. We're going nuclear. Nuclear. Let's go. Let's go. We're gonna figure this out. It still is not. All right, we're gonna do it again. This time we're gonna do 100,000. We are gonna see if this works. Test.unreference. We're gonna see if this works. Are you serious? $100,000, yeah. You can use underscores to delineate in numbers the places. I think underscores are just ignored, so you can put underscores wherever you want in a number, and it should just work. But if you have large numbers like 100,000, you want to just split it out so that you can see the groupings of 3 easier. You can definitely do that. All right, we're gonna do 1 million. I have a feeling that this is not working the way that I think it's working. Oh, am I gonna crash my computer? I don't think so. What in the heck? If I go to my debugger profiler, monitors, I have 1 million objects. Why is this not being freed? I have a million objects that aren't being freed. I'm using 500 megabytes of memory, probably because I created a million objects. I don't think this ref counted is working the way that it's telling me that it's working. I feel like I shouldn't have a million objects in memory that aren't being referenced and aren't being garbage collected. Okay, let's do 10 million. This should use, what, 5 gigs of memory? No, am I right about that? I don't know. Let's just let it pile up on the memory though. I've got plenty of memory on my system. 10 million, let's go. Shouldn't take that long, really. Hello? Game? Yeah. The garbage collector gives, the garbage collector does not take away. Yeah, true. Oh, here we go. Something's happening. Okay, we have 10 million objects using 4 gigabytes of memory, almost 5 gigabytes of memory. Are they going to be garbage collected? This seems like a prime candidate for garbage collecting. Is reference counting not working the way that I think it is? Like, this should know that there's no longer any reference to test ref anywhere after leaving this ready method. And I'm also calling test.unreference, so I don't even need to do that. Maybe that's interfering with it. Let's run it again. That's got to free up all that memory now. There's no garbage. Every object matters. Yeah. I'm going to turn this down to 2 million so we don't have to wait as long. I feel like I'm just making a fool of myself and this isn't working the way that it should, but I mean, based on the description that I've read, it should be getting freed from memory when the garbage collection happens. I have a hard time believing that. Is C# really not going to garbage collect if there's a gigabyte of memory? So I have 66,000 objects now. I actually don't know if that's normal. I should see how many objects I have when I don't have that. Okay, yeah, 4,000. So I got 4,000 objects when I'm not doing that loop. But I still have 66,000, so it looks like maybe some of them are being garbage collected. And it's just not... Maybe that pre-delete is not firing when it gets garbage collected. Maybe that's the issue. But yeah, this is definitely not 2 million here. So a lot of those objects are being freed for sure. I wonder if I leave this running if that's just going to free the rest of them. But what I'm curious about then is, I guess this notification pre-delete is never fired then. So however ref counted is managing deleting things or freeing things, it's not actually calling this, but I could verify that by putting a breakpoint there and running the game. I'm curious to see if this object count is going to go down though. Maybe if I play a little bit. Can't wait to get back to Godot. I'm finishing my game for the playdate, so I'll be back to full development in Godot. Very nice. What if you called the garbage collector manually? Then you'd know for sure if Godot has its own. I did call the garbage collector manually and it didn't do anything. Oh, there we go. We got a huge spike down. You see that? So it did delete all of those ref counted. Okay. So that is working. It's just not printing here. So I actually have no way of knowing when an object has been deleted. Yeah, it's not calling this. So this is useless. So the reason I went on this whole investigation tangent in the first place is because I wanted to see if I could find a reliable way of knowing when the card stats object was going to be freed, but I can't listen for that using this notification, so that's unfortunate. So I'm going to have to come up with some different ways of figuring out if these are being freed correctly. I don't know how I'm supposed to debug this, because there's all kinds of circular reference issues you have to deal with the ref counted. And also, yeah, I guess I just have to be very disciplined and just make sure that this card stats is not connecting to anything else. Like, this card stats object should just be passively referenced by everything, but it should never reach out and establish a relationship or a reference with something else in the game system. So I basically just need to make sure this class is very tight. And yeah, just very isolated, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Okay, well, that was an interesting experiment, but unfortunately that information was all useless. Or not useless, but doesn't help me. Stuff. I was reading about object pooling. It's true that Godot have some kind of object pooling automatically when you create the frequency of a specific object. I don't think that's true, no. I think the argument against object pooling has always been in Godot that creating objects is relatively fast. That said, I think there are definitely situations where object pooling happens, but no, I don't think Godot does any sort of object pooling for you. There is caching. Now, that's not to be confused with caching. So the first time you load a resource into memory, Godot caches that. And so next time you reference that resource, it reads it from memory rather than the disk. So resources are definitely cached. But objects themselves, they're created and destroyed from scratch every time, unless you have your own object pooling system. Time to switch to Unity, JK, yeah. Okay, anyway, that'll be it for the stream today. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for being here. I'm gonna probably fix these issues over the weekend if I have some time. But yeah, appreciate you all being here. And again, I've got my cooperative multiplayer course, which is available on Udemy now. So if you're interested in making multiplayer games in the Godot engine, check this out. It's a great way to support me. And also, you'll learn how to build a complete multiplayer game. So if that's something you've been wanting to do, it's a good time to buy this. It's always a good time to buy my courses, actually. You should wake up in the morning and be like, I think today's a good day to buy one of Firebelly's courses. So yeah, when you wake up in the morning and you just have a hankering to buy one of my courses, you can go to my descriptions on my videos and click the link there. But yeah, thank you everyone. I appreciate your support. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next stream, which will probably be Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, bye-bye everyone.